Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. I'm almost all the way back. 97%, I would estimate. My voice still is not what it used to be. But what did it used to be? We got a lot to get into today. We had no show yesterday. It was the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, so no show. But we are back with a lot to talk about because a lot of stuff going on. We've got Raw from Monday night. We're about 10 days away, something like that, from the Royal Rumble. And it was announced last night. It's not going to be a surprise. Cody is returning at the Royal Rumble. We have also got a very big Raw next week. It's Raw 1000. And somebody had a great idea. I don't know if they DM'd me or what, but somebody had a great idea for this show next week. And I don't think they're going to do it, but I heard it, and I'm going to be disappointed if they don't. So anyway, we'll talk about that. The Raw Report, we've got AEW on Wednesday, Fresno, California, with a lot of matches. NXT is tomorrow. And yes, we have more Vince McMahon news. There is another lawsuit out, I believe, a potential class action lawsuit that he's trying to negate. I know that should be surprising. We'll tell you about that. We have also got a departure from WWE. After 25 years, Adam Hopkins is leaving the company. He was the vice president of public relations. And I didn't know him well, but I've known him for like 25 years, since the mid to late 90s. He was the guy that you would talk to if you wanted to go to a show. And he was a great, great guy. We'll talk about that and so much more. Oh, yeah, Dwayne talking about the sale. But he didn't name drop me and Dave, so I don't know what's up with that. But back in a moment with more Observer Live. Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also WrestlingObserver.com. Back and ready to go for the most part here. I've had no coughing fits at all today. Zero.
None?
I suppose it could always happen on this show.
Jinx.
If it does, it'll be the first. We got a lot to get into today. In a new SEC filing Tuesday, WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon repealed some of the bylaw amendments he made upon his return early this month, including a notable one regarding shareholder voting rights. While that development may negate a class action lawsuit filed early last week, a new potential class action lawsuit filed last week by the Detroit Police and Fire Retirement System is targeting McMahon as well. You know, when we were talking about Vince being gone, and there was discussion when Vince said he wanted to come back, and I came on the show and I said, you know, it can't just come back. It's not that easy. And, you know, he sort of did. He just came back. But it is, in fact, not that easy. We have two potential class action lawsuits out at this moment, and depending on how much further he sneaks his way in, I mean, we're probably going to have more. Thursday, January 5th, and using his power as controlling stockholder, McMahon both executed and delivered a written consent that included his election and that of George Barrios and Michelle Wilson back to the board. It also included amendments to the company bylaws that, quote, Mr. McMahon indicated were intended to ensure that the company's corporate governance continued to properly enable and support stockholder rights. Well, then a stockholder filed suit. According to the Tuesday filing, because there is, quote, substantial alignment concerning the decision to conduct a review of strategic alternatives amidst the company's upcoming media rights cycle, and that the company's corporate governance will properly enable and support stockholder rights, he executed and delivered another written consent on Monday to substantially repeal the amendments made on the 5th. How about that? This whole thing is just a disaster. There were a lot of rumors over the last 24, 48 hours that he was back. And he's not back yet in terms of just back doing everything. But, you know, he's moving his team back into place. What? He's moving his team back into place? Why is he moving his team back into place if he's just there to, you know, get this company sold? So Triple H did another meeting yesterday and reiterated what he said on Friday, which, by the way, was a change. Now it's, you know, he is offering advice and suggestions, but I have the final say on everything, as what Triple H said. And, you know, if you watch the last two shows, it still doesn't feel like a Vince show, you know. But I don't think that's going to last. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you need to have something to do. As we've mentioned, these sales take time. That's another thing that just doesn't happen overnight. Everybody thinking that the thing was going to be sold. It's not that easy. You know, there's a whole process that's involved with buying shareholders out and such. So, you know, while you're there, you happen to be around, you happen to, you know, run the company, you might as well see what's going on, I guess, when it comes to creative, right? You know what I mean? And hopefully for Triple H, this works out a lot better than his wife's last speech that she publicly gave to talent, which, you know, ended with her resigning and walking away. Don't think that's going to happen in the case of Triple H here, but who knows how long it will take before Vince actually does sink his tentacles in, because, as we've mentioned many times with him, what else is he going to do?
It was reported Tuesday that last Thursday, the Detroit Police and Fire Retirement System petitioned the Delaware Court of Chancery to have their own similar class action lawsuit against McMahon recognized. The suit is claiming he acted wrongfully in trying to, quote, impose his personal will. Did Vince write this? He imposed his personal will,
using testicular fortitude to get back into power,
on WWE and its board by purporting to adopt a package of invalid and inequitable bylaw amendments that would hamstring the board from making critical business decisions. The retirement system also claims McMahon enjoys too much voting power due to his Class B shares versus Class A shares. Despite him owning 39% of the company's equity, he controls 81% of the voting power. So we now have 2 potential class action lawsuits being filed because of Vince inching his way back in.
Yeah, but hold on here. Let me ask you a question. Didn't Vince always have, and the family always have, dominant Class B voting stock when this stock was set up
nothing has
originally?
changed. They're just saying this isn't fair.
Well,
there's a lot in this world that ain't fair, you know?
That's true. It's going to be interesting, that aspect of it. You know, did you know what you were buying into? Is not buyer beware, or however it works with the mutual fund or whatever it is that happens to have WWE in the portfolio as part of their retirement or whatever it is. So I don't know. This thing is, you know, thank God there are people like Brandon Thurston who are around that can break a lot of this stuff down when it comes to SEC filings and the like.
25 years, Vice President of Public Relations Adam Hopkins is leaving the company. I foolishly sent him a thank you email to his WWE account. Bounced back.
Yeah.
Adam, if you're listening, thank you for all that you did over the years. Yes. Except that time you gave me tickets and I was all the way up there where I could touch the ceiling. I didn't like that one. But the rest of the time, it was pretty damn good. I appreciate it. He was a super nice guy. And, yeah.
He had to be. Somebody who was got to
be. Dude, there's people that have been there way longer than 25 years who, I don't want to say nobody, but most people would not classify as a nice guy.
That's a good point. And I guess they don't have to be either, even in the position that he's in. It just makes it a lot nicer when you are trying to reach out to an empire that can sometimes be dark, that there is a little bit of light that beams through every once in a while on, like, you know, the ground floor of things.
Forget who he loved going to concerts. Who was that? He was a huge fan of, who was it? Let's see. And I could actually look through his, maybe I should Facebook message him a thank you. But he was a huge fan of... Why
don't you actually just hit him up right now and see if he'll come on the air?
No, I don't think that's probably going to happen. But
I know.
Man, he would go to these concerts all the time. Like if you wanted his face, Billy, he went to 125 Billy Joel concerts, 125 of them. Like anytime they would be in town, he would go. He was a huge fan.
God bless. It's 124 more than I would want to go to.
And he's been doing this for a long time. You know, it's possible that, you know, he's just decided to retire. I mean, he'd been doing this for a long, long time. He wants to be the piano
man now.
I'm sure he made some money there. So anyway, I hope for the best for him. He was a great guy, super nice guy. All right, Dwayne, my bro.
Mm-hmm.
During a Tuesday appearance on CNBC, Dwayne, in this case, The Rock Johnson, not Craig's buddy Dwayne, who Dave and I. Anyway, it was announced earlier this month that Vince McMahon was returning to WWE to pursue a potential sale of the company. CNBC asked Johnson about WWE's next chapter and if he thinks a sale is something that makes sense. Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you it's an exciting brand, Dwayne said. It's a brand I've been very fortunate enough to have tremendous success in over the decades. And also, for your viewers here in the business world who may not know, the lineage goes way back, multi-generational with the WWE. My grandfather wrestled for Vince Sr. in the 70s. My dad wrestled for Vince in the 80s. I came along with a bad haircut and fanny pack, and I continue to wrestle for Vince too as well. Brother, you ain't been around the locker rooms lately if you think that was an old-fashioned thing. You know how many fanny packs there still are backstage?
Mm-hmm.
More than you'd approve of.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen tremendous success over the years. It's a very attractive company. I'm excited. I wish Vince and the company all of the best.
Hell of a brand. Hell of a brand.
He did not mention Dave and I. He did mention his Zoa brand of energy drinks. Because he had to get some plugs in there. Because, you know, you got to feed the family. I got something after the break. Observer Live. Break, I hopped over to our YouTube channel, video.f4wonline.com, youtube.com/f4wonline.tv.
Yes.
And what a god-awful, horrible chat.
It is.
Atrocious. But you know what?
Yeah?
I also noticed that we are
A few good eggs in there.
just over 4,000 subscribers away from 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Now, to subscribe is free. I realize that we also have a subscription page, but apparently that's you join to become a subscriber, but you subscribe for free. I don't get it. But the point is, if you go to our YouTube channel, there is a button that says subscribe, and if you click it, it's free. And what it does is it alerts you to new videos. We put up new free videos every day. This is for the freeloaders. It's all free. Okay? You hit that subscribe button. It's all free. Reminders. All sorts of fun things. And I ask you today to go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button, so that we can hit 100,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And I can get that big old plaque and put it right back there. We can look at it together every day. And I vow right now that if you go to video.f4wonline.com, if you go to YouTube/F4W TV, and if you click subscribe today, I vow that I will not bury anyone publicly in the YouTube chat for a period of 24 hours. Deal?
Sounds good to me.
All right, get up there. Hit that button. Subscribe. Now, you can also hit join. There's a lot of cool stuff if you join.
Yeah.
It does cost money, but it's worth it.
Yeah, small price to pay for the entertainment value that you get for that money, being a top-tier type of person that would subscribe to the videos live and direct, overnight with Dave Meltzer if you're on the East Coast. Maybe you're on the West Coast looking to have some fun. It's early at night for you. You can listen to the Bryan and Vinny show. You can watch that. Maybe you have not gotten enough of Wrestling Observer Live. You're looking for more. Well, you can watch Bryan do shows with Filthy Tom Lawler talking about all of his adventures, or maybe with Lance Storm. All of these things live for you for free.
Hey,
and
listen.
all of the archives. All of it.
I'll make everybody a deal, all right? I'll make you all a deal, and it's free.
Do they deserve this, Brian?
Yes. Okay? Everyone's talking about Oreo. I don't want Oreo on the show,
No.
okay? We had a disaster when he co-hosted last year.
Really?
Have you seen
Got caught in a net. It was terrible.
no. But have you seen Danhausen on this show since the last time Oreo was on?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Or that Oreo cursed Danhausen. I didn't think it could happen.
If we hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers by the last day of January, I will have Oreo accept the plaque when it arrives. I will step away from this desk right here. Big fat whale can come in, and I will have admin Tony or whoever the plaque is delivered to show up here, and Oreo himself can accept the plaque. I will give that opportunity to him and to all of you only if we hit 100,000 by the end of January. Happens February 1st, too bad. I'm taking all the credit if that happens. So, good luck. Now, anything else going on in wrestling?
A little bit.
All right, we have AEW and NXT. AEW Dynamite will take place at the Save Mart Center in Fresno, California on Wednesday. We have Darby Allin defending the TNT title against Kushida,
What?
who has apparently recovered from hoof and mouth disease. What is this?
Yeah, it was terrible. Oh,
Something
my
bad.
God.
It was no good.
Very.
That may have been what I had.
Months. Oh, no. Don't. Oh, God, don't say that. Don't say that. That was terrible for me. I mean, when was he first out? I mean, how long has it been now? It has been months since we've seen Kushida because of the affliction that fell upon him, this hoof and mouth disease. It was terrible.
We have Orange Cassidy defending the All-Atlantic title against Jay Lethal. Willow Nightingale versus Tony Storm. Top Flight versus the Young Bucks. Bryan Danielson versus Bandito. Ricky Starks versus Jake Hager and his hat. Hangman Page speaks with the wife of Jon Moxley, Renee. And then it's Tuesday.
It is.
My favorite shows tonight.
It is.
Tonight is NXT.
Yeah.
I can watch it well.
Yeah.
We've got the return of Tyler Bate. Hey, listen, I know you nerds don't like to hear about NXT. I know you don't like NXT. But I don't want to hear one bad word about Tyler Bate. That bloke is awesome. He never has a bad match. He's great, and I'm happy he's there.
Him and Gallus. I like them.
Gallus versus Josh, the Virgin and the Fornicator.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo Crews and Axiom versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. That's the lineup for tonight. NXT 2.0. Yeah. By the way, another note here. It has been asked about the prediction show. This is what I'm going to do, everybody. We're going to do a prediction show this year. And I am hereby booking it for Friday. Okay? Because tomorrow there's going to be news. We have the NXT review. Thursday there's going to be news. We've got the AEW review. And you know how Fridays are. So, this Friday, we are going to do the prediction show. But let me tell you something. If some giant story breaks and the prediction show cannot air on Friday, we just got to give this thing up. And this is ridiculous. It's already ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole point of the prediction show, it's like a game. You
fun.
make predictions, and we see who is a prognosticator and who is merely a fornicator.
Yeah,
That's what we do every year. Okay,
Yeah.
but
I'm both.
the game is, let's not lie to the listeners.
No, I
It's
have
been
a
enough of
plaque to
that.
prove it, and I have a child to prove it.
So
I'm in this game, brother.
The deal is, what we don't want to do is for you to go, I predict that Roman Reigns will defend the title at some point. Well, no, of course he will. So the point is, you must go out on a limb. You must predict something wacky. Okay? But 2022 was a year where it was like nobody predicting something wacky even came in the universe as wacky as the year actually was.
Really?
And we are 17 days into this year, and already this year has been so impossibly wacky that, like, why are we bothering? Why are we bothering?
I know.
But I'm going to try. I'm shooting for Friday, and we'll see who wins this year. And that's that.
I think the Wall Street Journal is going to win by dropping a story either Thursday night or Friday morning that throws this whole thing out of whack, and we end up not doing a prediction show, and Vince McMahon just happens to be the story, that's the surprise and the, story each and every day for God knows how long this year. He really might be. Vince McMahon is back as being the overwhelming shadow of the entire year, except for a couple of breaks in the day, throughout the year where AEW runs a pay-per-view or New Japan's got a weekend. No, Vince has got an iron claw over this whole thing.
First here says 2022 in wrestling news is like when Onion stories started becoming real news. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly what has happened.
Yes.
Like, this stuff is so ridiculous. It's so preposterous that, if you would have made these predictions at the beginning of last year, I'd have ridiculed you. I would have ridiculed you, and you would have been embarrassed, and, you would have rescinded your prediction or something.
Look, we used to say the same thing about politics and things like that. It's like, my God, it really is becoming, it's always kind of been pro wrestling, but now it really is showing its teeth as pro wrestling. And now, pro wrestling just being real life. And the real life of Vince McMahon is any wackier than anything that could ever be put on a screen, and far more scandalous than they want to have on a screen.
Let's see what's in the text message bin right here. I presume that Liv Morgan is not winning the Royal Rumble. But do you think they are telling the story where she may last the longest in the Rumble?
Oh, God. And then she'll cry and say, I was so close. I try so hard. Oh, my God. No. No. It's not. No. If you're going to have somebody do that, have plans for him for 2023. If it's going to be Liv Morgan, that's great, except for you've gone to that well a lot. Why not have that be somebody else who takes that shine, who can have that and wear that? It's like throwing out the person, who throws out the most people, but then they get tossed out themselves. Give them something to hang their hat on, but make it for somebody that you have something in the can for.
Well, this person here says, what are the chances Vince shows up for Raw 30? No. I fast-forwarded through a lot of junk last night, including clips from back in the day. How many times do I need to see this stuff? But I could have sworn I saw Vince getting hit with a pie pan by Steve Austin in the hospital bed. Did I not? I think I saw that. His name was mentioned on TV in the last week or two. Forget in what context, but it was. So at this point today, I'd put it at greater than 50%. He shows up next week on Raw 30. Greater than 50% is where I put it right now. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com.
Yeah? What's the matter?
As I noted on my Twitter, I actually deeply regret making that offer. And I'm glad there's only 13 days left in January.
Why? Why would you?
Because Mike, you know how long I've been doing video? I didn't even really want to do video, but I was talked into doing video, and then I have done video, and once we did it, I've given it my all.
Yes.
I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows for years with you and Dave now and Lance and Vinny. I've done more shows than anybody because I'm the one that does it with everybody else. I have earned this plaque and I deserve to accept it. And I opened my big mouth because I was greedy, and now...
You are greedy.
Now...
And egotistical.
Well, you know what? I'm not.
And a douche.
But in this case, I'm not egotistical, but you know what? In this case, I actually do deserve to accept this plaque. Not Oreo.
Yeah, well, it shows you the kind of mentality that you're on where you would actually have Oreo accept that plaque as opposed to me. If you were going to step back and let an overweight creature of nature accept an award, why not me for this
Actually, it's funny. He's fat, but he's not overweight.
Who? Really?
It's one of the problems with the whales of late. But anyway.
Oh, we gotta.
No, you ain't accepting the plaque. Don't even try.
Why?
Come on.
Who's done more video besides you than me?
The point is, I've done the most. So I accept it.
It's always about you, Brian.
In this case, it is.
It's never about the people that help you, you know? We're all here trying to work together to make this thing work every single day.
Let me talk about Raw.
There's people out here trying
I got
to
think about something else right now.
The same way that Paul is trying to make
Why did
Raw
I open my mouth
every single Monday.
Now I'm mad at Brian for putting this out on Twitter. Now it's everywhere.
Catch some fish with that mouth like Oreo, whatever the hell. Let's go. Raw
opened up with the Usos and Solo Sikoa coming down to the ring. They're bragging about beating up Kevin Owens. No Sami Zayn on the show. Then out came the Judgment Day, and Dominic is still a hardened criminal, and he's talking about being in the pen.
Ex-condom.
The Usos are laughing in his face. And,
false flag.
You know, I know they didn't mean it the way I read it, but man, when Jimmy Uso was like, he had some line, because, you know, he's had, like, multiple DUIs, and he's spent a lot of time. And he made some line, and I was like, I didn't like that line. But anyway, Solo got in Dom's face. Ripley got between them. And then Solo's like, I'm going to thumb you anyway. And then he got laid out by Ali because they're going to do a match, and so everyone split. So we got Solo Sikoa and Ali, 5-minute match. They actually teased that Ali was going to end the win streak of Solo Sikoa when the Usos and Kevin Owens all distracted Solo, and then Ali hit a tornado DDT, but he still kicked out, spiked him, pinned him, and then Owens hit the ring. There was a big brawl, and Owens stood tall there at the end. It's a good opening segment. Cody Rhodes did his video where he announced, at the Royal Rumble, I'm back. So at least around the end of this month, you know, somebody's going to get a victory. Maybe if I got a big tat, like right here. Elias spoke to Byron.
Big tilde paying an exclamation point.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
You know what? There was a time, folks, people may not believe this now. I bet you there was a time around 2008 or so where you could have gotten one of the subscribers to absolutely have done that.
I thought about it.
Do it now.
I thought about it, but not on my neck.
Really?
Yeah, but then I thought, what? That was the end of that. So anyway, Byron is talking to this idiot Elias. Elias is another one of those idiot baby faces. So MVP comes out of the office, and he says, and Elias says some comment, and MVP goes, you know, the winner is already determined of the Royal Rumble. This idiot Elias thinks MVP's talking about himself. So he wants a fight, and MVP says, you know what? If you want to face the eventual Royal Rumble winner tonight, I'll get it done. This idiot Elias goes, oh, man, I can't wait to beat up Montel
Vontavious Porter.
Montel Vontavious Porter.
Yes.
Yes. Because Elias is an idiot. He paid the price. Street Profits versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. They botched this finish, something fierce. It was so funny. Dawkins tries to splash in the corner. MVP is supposed to pull Alexander out of the way, but MVP is like a mile away. And so he's sprinting to get up on the apron. And then Dawkins tries to slow down in midair. You guys ever jumped and tried to slow down in midair? It don't work, especially on this planet. So he hits the guy. MVP then yanks Alexander. And then Dawkins sells it like he didn't hit him. And then they do a distraction. And then Dawkins still pins him after all that. God.
I'll say this. If Montez was the one who was going into the corner, then you may have had a shot to change last second, split second in midair. But with poor Big Dawkins, you couldn't do that. And then unfortunately, everybody looked kind of goofy.
We had an Alpha Academy segment in the back. And, Dom's talking about lifting weights in the prison yard. And they're like, you could have just joined our online course. And finally, Damian Priest is just sick of this BS. Even Dominic's, he's like, we all just shut up. Let's get out there and work or wrestle tonight. Then we had an excruciatingly, God, this Becky Bayley promo. The whole point of the promo is Becky is going to challenge her to a cage match next week because Bayley beat Becky with help from, Damage Control or whatever their name is. So it's all they're going to do. Becky's going to go, I want a match with you next week in a cage. But man, they went on an hour. It opens with Becky calling her out. She doesn't come out. Becky calls her a Karen. Bayley then comes out and says, my name's not Karen. My name's Bayley. Becky goes, I didn't say your name was Karen. I said you were a Karen. Bayley goes, but I'm not Karen. And then Becky has to explain what a Karen is. You complain to people and you got a bad haircut or whatever. I'm like, dude, what's happening? Get to the point. Crowd's dead. They're like, get to the point. Then they start rambling back and forth. And let me tell you something, everybody. Let me tell you something. Do you guys know what a promo is supposed to be? Do you know what a promo is supposed to be?
I do.
Let me help you. There's one person, and then there's another person. Could be male, female, could even be teams. Yeah. But they're going to have a verbal battle that is designed to make you want to see them fight. And preferably, you not only want to see them fight, but you want one of them to beat the ass of the other. That's the idea behind a promo. I understand that everything that they said in this promo was true. They're talking about NXT and 2015, and Bayley peaked in 2015, and Becky was never supposed to be the man, but she was, and Bayley's like, it's because you got punched by another woman. And it's like, yeah, it's all true. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care what happened in NXT. I don't care why Becky got over. It doesn't matter. Why should I care about you two fighting? Well, actually, the answer is simple. I should care because I'm supposed to like Becky. I'm supposed to dislike Bayley. Bayley beat Becky by cheating, and I'm supposed to want Becky to get her revenge on Bayley for what she did. They barely addressed any of that. We're talking about a bunch of stupid history, which again is true, but it doesn't matter. And you know what? I bring it up because I've seen this a lot lately in promos. It's like two people come out. They start talking about history. They start bringing up stuff from the past. It's like good in the sense that, yeah, they deliver it well. Maybe they have passion behind what they're saying. But who cares? What does it have to do with you two having a match together? So, God, this killed me. And I was even more infuriated because you could have done it right. There's a reason Becky wants a cage match. There's a reason she wants revenge. There's a reason we're not supposed to like Bayley. There's a reason why we want to get rid of her henchwoman. But they didn't do any of that. It was all a bunch of crap from 2015. Who cares? Then, Elias faced Omos, who was not MVP. Omos killed him, and it was over. Thank God Omos has returned. Thank God.
So you know Vince is back.
Yes, I am losing my voice again. And I don't care about agitating your cat. Put your cat away during the show. You know I'm going to yell. What, you're surprised I'm yelling on Observer Live? Are you new?
So he gets his strength back, by the way. You got to get them vocal cords back up. Come on, boss. Yell at him.
Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio beat Alpha Academy. 11 minutes, good match. Bro, I hate to say it because I like the act and everything like that, but they got to have Otis split off and go babyface.
No. Just babyface together.
No.
Come on.
Super Porky.
Man, Chad, talking to the kids.
He's the American Super Porky.
Bro.
Everybody loves him.
You can do it together, man.
No, here's the problem, Mike.
Somebody's got to get him the food, man. It's like David Spade and
here's
Chris
the
Farley.
problem.
Oh,
okay?
man.
Chad Gable can be a main event act. Otis, God bless him. Otis is
Wait a second.
is best served as American Super Porky.
I
He
agree.
goes out, he does the
agree.
same thing.
Yes.
It's always an undercard person. He always wins, and he always makes everybody happy. Gable can be so much more.
I love Chad Gable, but you know he's not going to be so much more.
He
so
can
make
be.
them a super popular team that people want to see. I'll take that instead.
So, Dom got the win thanks to Priest, but then they celebrate like Dom had accomplished something. I like this match a lot. And man, the people loved old Porky. Then he tried to do his worm into an elbow, but he stumbled, and so he just fell on the guy.
That was
Made
the
it even
shaking
better.
weight.
Made it even better.
He shook and he fell.
Mia Yim, I was actually worried about his health, but then he got right back up, so then I wasn't worried.
Yeah, he had the jakey leg. It's like, yeah, that was, wasn't sure what that was.
We had Mia Yim beating Io Sky, 4 minutes. It was fine. Nobody cared. It was just in and out. So
That's Meechin.
then we had Bianca and Alexa. See, this, even though I hated the ending because it was so stupid, this was largely done right. It was like Bianca got beat up by Alexa. Bianca comes out and goes, "You talked a lot of trash last week. Come out and say it to my face." Alexa comes out to say it to her face, and Bianca changes her mind. "I don't want to hear it again. I want to beat you up. You want a match of the Rumble?" Alexa says, "Sure." Bianca's like, "Great, it's signed. Now I want to beat your ass now." So then they get a huge fight, and everything was fine. But then Uncle Howdy is dancing by concessions, and Bianca's distracted by what I don't even know what. And then she gets DDT'd, and it was so dumb. And this stuff is so dumb.
Blue smoke and light. That's what she was,
Bronson Reed murdered Akira Tozawa. He murdered him. This was a murder on national television. And I loved it. But I hope Tozawa's okay. And then Bobby Lashley ended up beating everybody else in a six-pack challenge. He gets a shot at Theory next week. And I'm going to tell you what's going on after the break. Observer Live. You know, if you watched that main event last night,
Yeah.
it was actually very, very clever what they did. Because Lashley is out there as a total babyface. People are cheering for him. They love the guy. And then out comes MVP and Omos to screw everything up. And everything that they do is heelish and diabolical. Yet everything that happened that they were involved in just happened to inadvertently help Lashley win this match. So,
Love that.
I'm not sure if it's happening next week, but it is inevitable that Bobby Lashley is turning heel, and the Hurt Business will be reuniting with the addition of Omos. And
Man, he was
they're
never
slow
part
building
of
it.
Was never part of a Hurt Business with Omos. It's like Ralph Tresvant and Bobby Brown getting together with Johnny Gill in this new edition of the Hurt Business. I like it a lot. And you know what, Bryan Alvarez? Maybe I was being a little bit selfish earlier on. Maybe it shouldn't be me that would accept the award. Maybe it shouldn't be Oreo. Maybe it shouldn't be you. Maybe it should actually be Brian Rose for all the effort that he puts in. Nah. Guess not.
I like Brian, but no, it's mine.
It's fine.
Mine!
You go Scrooge McDuck yourself, holding that thing into that big barrel of money that you got down in the basement.
I don't make any money for that plaque. The plaque is merely recognition.
Bad cut off of YouTube, isn't it? Pretty bad. Heard that.
Hey, listen, I gotta go. Lance is gonna be here in an hour. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern.
Clean the place up.
You know who else ain't accepting that plaque? Lance.
Who? Oh, no.
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 I'd sooner have Don Callis accept it.
Oh, you're sick. You're gross. You're horrible. You're disgusting.
We'll talk to you again next time. Wrestling Observer Live.